Hello, seniors. This is Miss Larasha, your college and career counselor. Today, I want to share with you information about applying for financial aid, or the FAFSA. This video will take you through all of the steps to apply for aid and to have a better understanding. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to share are the different types of aid. When you apply for the FAFSA, which is short for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is an application that all seniors can apply for as long as they have a Social Security number and are a U.S. citizen or a green card permanent resident. If you are not one of those, if you're not in one of those categories, then you probably cannot apply for financial aid, but please come and see me and we can double check. So the FAFSA is a centralized application that the federal and state of Missouri governments use to determine your eligibility for different types of financial aid. So financial aid is typically based on income, and it is based on a calculation of your need. Compared to scholarships, most scholarships are based on merit, meaning that they are based on something the student is bringing to the college, such as good grades or artistic or athletic ability. So financial aid, again, is based primarily on financial need as determined by the government. Most of the time, families won't agree on the need, but it is what it is. This is the government's formula for determining need. If you are considering using A+, then you must complete the FAFSA. So, and lastly, you would complete the FAFSA every fall for the following school year at college. So you're going to do this every fall if you plan to be in college the next school year. Generally, the FAFSA opens October 1st, and I would recommend completing it no later than December 1st. This year, the FAFSA opened up a little bit later, so I am encouraging 2025 seniors to get the FAFSA completed by January 31st to meet the state of Missouri's February 1st deadline. So types of aid, you have basically three types of aid. So grants. Grants are represent free money based again on income, and you have two main types of grants. You have a Pell Grant, which is from the U.S. government, and currently this year it's right around $7,400 per year if you receive a full Pell Grant. And then there's the Missouri Access Grant, which can be anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s, again depending upon your financial need. There is no repayment for grants. So grants are very good. But they are limited. So again, we want to apply as early as possible for the FAFSA. So specifically for Missouri grants, because Missouri grants do have limits on how much the state has to provide. Colleges sometimes have their own grants, particularly if it's a private college such as St. Louis University. They may have what's called an institutional grant. So that means the institution or the college is providing additional free money based on an income. So grants are typically provided to families who are the lowest incomes. If you can think of a continuum from a family that has a low income all the way to Elon Musk, who has bajillions of dollars and no financial need. So when you fill out the FAFSA, your family is placed somewhere on this continuum of need, and that is what the government uses to determine what types of aid you receive. The second type of aid is work-study, and this represents a part-time campus job that you would work, and you can usually earn $2,000 to $3,000 per year. It's often also called self-help aid because you are working to help pay for your college. And if you're eligible for work study, then you will be notified of that by the college, and then you'll have to follow the college's process in order to find a campus job. And then loans. loans are a part of financial aid, and I know a lot of people don't want to take out loans, but loans are part of financial aid because you have to think of it as an investment in your education and in your future. So we as a society are very used to taking out loans to buy a new car or to go on a vacation or to buy a house. So college loans are actually an investment in your future. So this is a loan that over time you will make a lot more money in your career by having an education. So while you may not want to take loans, they may be a necessary piece for you to be able to attend college. The student loans are going to have a much better interest rate and repayment option than if you were to borrow money from a bank or a credit card. So if you do need to look at loans, I would look at your FAFSA student loan options first. So a student loan, the most that can be offered is $5,500 a year for most students. You repay the loan after you graduate from college, or if you drop out of college, then you will have to start repaying the loan. The interest rates are, again, lower than most banks or credit cards. The student loan can be broken into two types of loans. A subsidized loan means that there is no interest accruing while you're in college. So if you borrow $3,500 as a freshman and graduate 4 years later, you'll still only owe $3,500. The interest doesn't begin until you graduate. The unsubsidized loan, up to $2,000 a year, has interest accruing the moment that you take out the loan. So $2,000 as a freshman will be $2,000 plus once you graduate. Generally speaking, repayment of loans, if we can do some quick mental math, let's say you take out $5,500 per year times 4 years of college. That would give you $22,000 total in student loan. Roughly speaking, $22,000 in student loan would equate to a $220 a month payment for 10 years. Now, you can certainly repay your loans quicker than that. Once you get that good paying job, you want to pay your loans back as quick as you can. But for most students, if you take out $22,000 in student loan, most students with a full-time job will be able to afford a $220 a month loan payment. Where students get into trouble is when they take out multiple loans. So they take out student loan here, and then they go to a bank and take out a loan, and then they go to a credit card and take out a loan, and then they have $50,000 or $100,000 of loans. That can equate to $500 a month loan repayment or $1,000. So you want to keep your student loans as low as possible. The other possibility that you might be offered is a parent loan. Now, a parent loan is a loan that a parent has to qualify for. So they do have to go through a credit application. And many colleges will offer a parent loan, and they can be quite sizable. So you have to be careful when you're looking at your financial aid offer. If you see a parent loan and it's $20,000 a year, that's a quite a sizable loan repayment for your parent immediately. And $20,000 a year times 4 years, then your parent is paying $80,000 for that college. And you really have to stop and think about, is that something that your parent can afford? So these are the types of aid that the FAFSA application will outline and determine what you're eligible for. So applying is free, and you're just seeing what you're eligible for. You will choose what you want to take out of this group at a later point. Okay, so now that we know what kinds of financial aid options we have, let's look at how to apply for financial aid. So there's a few steps. The first step is to create your FSA ID. This is simply your username and password. So each student must have an ID, and at least one parent must have an ID. Now, if your parents are separated or divorced, then it's going to be the parent who provides the most financial support. You'll have to determine that within your family, and that parent will have an ID. If your parent already has an ID that they used for themselves in college or for an older sibling, then the parent can reuse the same ID. But both you and the parent have to have your own IDs. It takes about 10 minutes to create the ID, and you're just going to need some basic information such as your social security number, your date of birth, and a personal email address. If your parent does not have a social security number, that is okay. They must still create an ID, and they will just be asked some different questions. So step number 1 right here talks about creating your ID. You're going to go to studentaid.gov. So let's see here. This is studentaid.gov website. And you'll go up here to the top right corner, create account, and then get started. And you'll fill in this information. So you will create one, and then your parent will create their own. Again, it takes about 10 minutes. And once you create your account, it will take about 3 business days for your ID to be verified. Once your ID has been verified, so after 3 business days, then you can proceed to step 2, which is to complete the FAFSA. As I stated previously, this year it opened right around December 1st, but generally it opens October 1st, and you want to do it as early as possible. So depending upon when you're starting college, you will have to choose which form. So let's go back to the studentaid.gov website, click on the FAFSA form, and complete the FAFSA form. And you see that there are 2 options. So you have to think about this for a moment. You have to think about when are you going to be in college. That's the form you use. So if you're starting college in the fall of 2025, you're going to start using the 25-26 FAFSA because that's when you're in college. If you're starting college this spring of 2025 or this summer of 2025, then you're going to also do the 24-25 FAFSA. So you would have to do 2 FAFSAs if you're starting in spring or summer. But most students are starting in the fall, so most of you are going to only do the 25-26 FAFSA. So you'll log in to start. So right away, it's going to ask for that ID that you created as a student. You'll log in, and then you'll follow the directions to complete the application. The FAFSA takes about 30 minutes to complete. Half of the FAFSA is going to be for the student to complete. And then you will fill out information to invite your parent via email to complete the parent portion. So again, about 30 minutes total to complete the FAFSA. As I stated earlier, I do recommend that you complete it by January 31st to maximize your eligibility for aid. Once you complete the FAFSA, down here in step 3, you will receive a FAFSA submission summary, or FSS. Those are typically ready within 3 or 4 business days. And you can check for your FSS by logging back into your FAFSA and going to and clicking on the year of the FAFSA and then clicking on My Activity. You want to check your FSS for corrections. So if there's anything that was in error, or if you want to add additional colleges to your FAFSA. And this summary will also give you a preliminary aid amount. So it will tell you what type of grant and loans you're eligible for. The summary is also sent to every college that you list on your FAFSA. So if you are considering any college, you want to make sure that you put it on your FAFSA. You can put up to 20 colleges on your FAFSA at a time. If you have more than 20 colleges, number one, you might want to start thinking about narrowing that list down. And number two, you can put 20 on there, submit your FAFSA, wait a couple of weeks, and then delete some of those schools and replace them with the additional schools that you have. So each college will receive your FAFSA data, and typically between January and March, the college will process your FAFSA and then provide you with a financial aid offer, which is down here, number 5. So again, between January and March, you will receive a financial aid offer from each college. Those may come to you via email, via postal mail, and if it's a large college, you may be required to log into your college portal to view your FAFSA. So make sure that you are setting up your college technology and checking your college portal to see what your next steps are. When you receive the financial aid offer, you will review it to see what kinds of aid you've been provided. Your offer will include all your aid, so it will include scholarships, grants, loans, work study, and then it will tell you what your remaining balance is to pay if you choose to attend that college. It's important to wait until you receive all of your financial aid offers and then review each offer and compare them, because a college may start out being more expensive, but after you review your scholarships and aid, a high-priced college may end up being the cheaper option for you because they give you more aid. So I caution any student to commit to a college until you have viewed your financial aid offer and discussed it with your family to make sure that you understand the offer and any loans that are being required, and that you and your family are sure that you can afford to pay the balance times 4 years. One of the big reasons that students don't complete college is they get in over their head. They choose a college because they love the college. The college is a popular name. They want to, tell their friends that they're going to a certain name brand college, but at the end of the day are not able to really afford the college over 4 years and end up dropping out or transferring. So please make sure that you are being honest with yourself and your family when you're reviewing the cost of college and making sure that you can afford it all the way until graduation. I do have some resources in my office to compare the cost of colleges. We'll probably have some workshops and ways for you to do that comparison here at school. But I wanted you to at least kind of know what the process is in the entirety. The last piece that you might need is a CSS profile or an individual college form. So the CSS profile is a more in-depth look at your family's finances, and it's typically only required by highly competitive colleges such as Washington University or Harvard. So if you have applied to one of those schools, you do need to also complete the CSS profile, and there are typically college-specific deadlines to complete that form. And then lastly, individual college forms. These typically will happen if you have a unique situation. So for example, if you are a student who is not living with a parent, and the college may then ask for you to provide documentation that your parents' information does not need to be included. So watch if that does reflect your situation. Be sure that you are watching out for those forms and in touch with the college's financial aid office. So I hope this information was helpful in understanding both the types of financial aid offered as well as the entire process from the ID all the way down to reviewing your offers and making your decision. Thanks for tuning in and take care.